Right, I've been down to my local fish store and again I've made another random purchase that I wasn't planning to make. So I've been looking at these guys for quite a while now. I've been looking online. I couldn't find anywhere that actually sold them in store. It was something I would have had to buy online, but my local shop did have them. Now I don't want to, well, I've done it now, I've scared them, but if you look in here, you can see there's not a lot of water at all. You can see there's a tiny amount of water, and you can see over there they've currently suctioned themselves to the side of the bag, which I do find quite funny. So these are mudskippers. I've been looking at these for a long time now. They're a brackish water fish. They don't really need a large tank. They can be a little bit territorial, but I think as long as they're getting fed enough, they're normally pretty good. So I've bought 3 of them. I just saw that guy blink, I think. So I've bought 3 of them. I'm going to quickly set up a little tank. Now I haven't got a tank as such set up, but it's not too bad because I've got the reef tank upstairs. I'm just literally going to take some of the water out there. I'm going to add some RO water to that just to dilute it down to the brackish levels that it needs to be, and then I'm going to get these into the tank with them. Now I want to make like a little tide pool type of setup, just because these guys do like to sort of stay out of the water. As you can see, they'd rather be out of the water than in. So yeah, I've got a little sponge filter as well that I can put in there. It's not an issue. I've got an air pump that's free as well. So yeah, I'm going to get straight into this and start making their little enclosure. But look at them, they're so funny. So the tank I'm putting them in is my Reefer 350 water top-up tank that normally goes in the bottom of the sump. Now I don't use this tank. I normally just fill the water up manually, so I don't need it. But it's ideal for a small tank of this size with these animals that I've got. Now I'm going to put these ceramic tubes in to aid in filtration, and I'm also adding a bubble filter in here just so that it helps keep the water moving, it'll oxygenate the water, and hopefully it'll add a little bit of filtration. But I'm hoping the ceramics in there will do most of the filtration for me. Now I'm putting in some little bits of live rock that I had out of my main tank, and I'm just doing this to sort of bulk the tank out a little bit, wedge everything in place including the filter. And it also helps make a little tide pool at the top where the mud skippers are going to be able to sort of hide from each other and feed. Now this is a sort of layout that I'm going for. Again, it is only temporary. I do want to make something a little bit better in the future. Now this is some sand that I had spare from an old tank, and I'm just chucking this in any old way. It doesn't matter how the sand goes in a minute. The main thing is I just try and fill as many of the cracks as possible. Now I'm not too worried about the mud skippers getting inside these ceramic tubes and behind rocks, because they are quite small and they should be able to navigate themselves around the tank quite easily. Now I've decided to place this in the snake room just because it is a heated room. It's just above the stingrays. Now pouring this water in, this is water that I've used from my reefer upstairs, my 350 tank, and I've just diluted it down with some fresh water. And as I poured the water in, you can see it helps all the sand settle and it sort of fills up in all those cracks. And I've got the bubble filter connected to the air pump, and as you can see it's running perfectly. Now I didn't make this tide pool area too deep, it was just enough to cover the back of them, but they can still stick their heads out, and I put a little rock in the middle just as a little bit of a feeding platform. Now putting these guys in, I didn't worry about fishing them out with nets and things like that. I decided to just grab them out of the bag of my hand and chuck them in. Now they are going to be quite skittish to begin with just because it's a new environment. They're probably not used to being handled or hand fed, which is what I want to eventually do with these guys. And you can see they do actually suction themselves to the glass. They jump up, and I think there's a little pad on their belly that they use, and it sort of holds them in place. Now these guys do actually have some colours. They're a little bit faded at the minute, they're a little bit stressed, but you can see they've got these blue specks down the side, and when they put their fins up they do have some red and some other colours on their fins, which looks absolutely amazing. Now they'd been in here for a few hours and I decided to feed them, so I've just got some frozen mysis shrimp here that I've put in, and I'm sort of spreading it around everywhere just to make sure they've got enough to feed everybody basically. And you can see straight away they're straight on the feed, which is absolutely ideal. Now since recording this I have been feeding them quite a lot. They do eat frozen bloodworm as well, and they are actually taking the food off the tweezers, which is absolutely amazing. Now I will get a video of that once they're a little bit more comfortable, when I do an update on these guys, and that will probably be the next video from this one, and then after that I'll be upgrading these guys into a bigger tank. Now you can see they are squabbling a little bit over the food here. Now I'm not too worried, there's plenty of places in there for them to hide, but you can see the red on the fins I was mentioning, and they do have quite a lot of character, which is what I originally bought these guys for. Now the other one is in the water, but as they're kicking around all the food, it is actually falling down past all the rocks down to where the other Mudskipper is. Now the whole idea of target feeding them is to make sure that everything is feeding basically. You can see that Mudskipper down on the right there, he's just picking up some of the scraps that fall down. Now he is the smaller one, but I do make sure he gets enough food. So that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.